What's up, guys? Brian Ellwood, and today I want to talk to you guys about one of the biggest things that most people are missing when they try to break into the online education space. I want to tell by illustrating a story that I heard by Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy is a guy who founded Success Magazine. He wrote The Compound Effect. He's a great author, and heard him speak. He was talking about how he wanted to find the perfect partner. He wanted to find like the perfect woman. And he said what most people do is they go out and seek that person and sort of try to make that person like them. And what he did instead was really interesting. He got really clear on who that woman was, like what her traits were, physical, personality, and then he said, who do I need to become in order to attract a woman like that into my life? And that's all he focused on. He focused on becoming the man that he would need to be in order to attract a woman like that, the woman of his dreams. And as the story ends, he says she basically magically sort of appeared into his life. And so, like a magnet, Darren Hardy attracted his ideal mate by becoming the person that he knew she would want, and by getting clear before that on who that was. There's a huge overlap between that and what you need to do if you're going to become a thought leader or coach or enter the education space. So a lot of people are out there marketing and they're selling things and they're not really clear on who they're talking to or where that person is today or where you want to take them. Okay. And those are the three things that most coaches can't tell you. Like if you ask them, so who exactly do you serve? What is their point A? Like where are they today? And then where do you want to take them? Like what's the outcome you want to create for them? And the answer to those three questions is the foundation for your whole coaching business. I know it sounds oversimplified, but you cannot make content, you cannot go out and market, you cannot get on an enrollment call without knowing the answers to those things because you don't know who you're talking to in your content. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to talk about someone's point A or how to talk about what you do for them. And then someone DMs you and you're not really sure what questions to ask them to know if like they'd be a good fit for your program or not. And you see a lot of new coaches that are just sort of desperate, wanting to sign any client, not even qualifying people. And then you don't get the result for people. You end up with 10 clients and they're like vastly different from one another in their starting points. And maybe half of them would have been a good fit and half of them would not. For example, I'm working with a client right now who's a very successful real estate entrepreneur, and he's getting into the education space and he's going to coach other entrepreneurs on how to succeed in business. And we talked about who his ideal client is, and it's really sort of like small business owners is who he's really attracted to helping, and he wants to help them to systemize and scale their businesses. That's what he's done. He has a multi-million-dollar enterprise. They own, 100 million in real estate. They have 40 or 50 employees. He's really good at infrastructure and leadership and all that stuff. And then, we really got into like, well, what is his ideal client starting point? He's saying, well, I go to get my hair cut and I look at the salon, and I'm like, this place, I could blow this place up. And I go to my cousin's law office and there's just, one employee. And I'm like, why doesn't he have 5 locations? And, so he's sort of telling me what he wants to do for businesses, but then he's also telling me where his ideal client is. And there's a disconnect there, right? Because the person who owns a barber shop is not likely going to want to scale to 50 employees. A lot of those people are very content being where they are and are frankly control freaks, and they don't want to let go of the things in their business, right? So that's another missing piece, is like the outcome you want to create for people. You need to make sure that you're grabbing people at a starting point that will allow you to deliver the outcome much more predictably. I used to market to just anyone who wanted to become a coach. And what I found is that I'd enroll, for every 10 clients I enrolled, I'd enroll like 5 people who were just like, I'm broke, but I want to become a coach, and then the other 5 were like, I have a successful track record in entrepreneurship, and I'm already financially well off, right? So they were vastly different from each other, and same program, but 2 different starting points. I was able to get the outcome for the previously successful people much, much more predictably. Those guys took off, making, multi 6 figures in their coaching businesses, super clear on their message and their marketing. And I just connected all the dots for them so they could go and share their voice and start getting clients, start making the difference they wanted to make. And that was a big turning point for me. Guys, it took me forever to figure out who my ideal client is and exactly what their best starting point would be today, and then exactly what I wanted to do for them. I had to change a bunch of times in order to figure this out. And I've been coached by the best coaches, and I've done lots of, like soul searching to find these answers. And it still took me a long time. So I know that a lot of other people struggle with this. It's really, really common. And at the same time, you've got to get it right, okay? Like you can't just turn on the camera and just start rambling and be like, here's my top 3 tips on productivity. And the next day you're like, here's my green smoothie recipe. And the next day you're like, here's my tips on leadership. You'll just become known as like this likable expert, but no one would ever hire you. And it's honestly because they just don't know what the hell you do for anybody or if it's for them or not, right? So you have to get clear. And one of the first things I do with my paid clients is it's a 6-week program. I swear, like we might spend the first 2 weeks just talking about the answers to those 3 questions. Who are you going to serve? Where are they today? And then where are we going to take them? And there's been so many times where I talk to somebody and save them years of going down the wrong path by sharing what I've learned about making those decisions, because there's a lot that goes into that. Okay. Like with the client, you need to pick the person that you love being around that gives you the most energy, right? With their starting point, you need to pick the person that's going to be the most coachable and the most likely to get the outcome that you provide. And with the outcome, you've got to pick the thing that you not only are 100% confident you can deliver on, but you also believe in, and in so much that it's represented by your own life. If you're helping people get fit in the gym, you better be getting fit in the gym, or obviously you don't care about that enough, and you should not try to go market and sell something like that, because people will be able to sense the like lack of engagement or buy-in that you have to that thing. And so I encourage you guys to get this right. There's like a couple ways to go about this, right? Like you can do like the Russell Brunson technique where it's just like he says, just publish content to find your voice. And that does work to some degree. Like, for every 50 podcast episodes I've rolled out, I feel like I've gotten more clear at what I'm trying to say, who I'm speaking to. So just like turning on the camera like I'm doing right now helps. But like in hindsight, once I really landed on what I want to be doing, who I want to serve, I kind of realized like those answers are actually in me all along. And I wish I would have had somebody to pull those out of me and have those really deep conversations with me years ago, because I might not have got it perfect, but I could have gotten a lot closer to what the right answers to those three questions were. And it would have saved me a lot of time and headache going down the wrong path. Okay. So once you know who you're speaking to, what their exact starting point is now, and then where exactly you want to take them, then you pick things like, what type of marketing am I going to do, right? Like what type of format and platform would I enjoy publishing content on regularly? And then you learn how to structure a piece of content so that it resonates with people and gets them to reach out to you, like I'm doing in this video right now. You have to develop a simple sales process to know what to do when someone does reach out to you. And then you need to build your program. So you need to actually build your offer so you can talk about it, and then the nuts and bolts of the program itself, like group coaching or one-on-one, and price and length, and whether or not you're going to leverage online courses or documentation to help you with the teaching. That's the container by which you provide the outcome when people do sign up. And then what ties that all together is a simple daily routine. So I wake up and I live off of a spreadsheet that tells me what to do Monday through Friday, like to grow my business. And so I only have to work like about 4 hours a day to make six figures and to do the type of work that I love. And I do leverage an assistant as well to help me with little stuff. That's it. Okay. It doesn't need to be complicated, but you have to get the fundamentals right. So I hope this helps, guys. When you get the three things we talked about today right, like turning on the camera and talking becomes so much easier because you know who you're speaking to, you know where they are today. And that's when your content starts to resonate. That's when you actually get ROI from your content. It doesn't just like sit there. Sometimes people will message me and say like, you don't get a lot of engagement on your content, Brian, but I get people DMing me 2 or 3 times a week inquiring about working with me, right? So there's a difference between likes and comments and people serious about finding out about your program. The latter, I hope, is the only thing you should care about. Cool. So I hope this helps, guys. And what I've shared in this video is a big part of what we do in my 6-week one-on-one coaching program. It's for successful entrepreneurs who are tired of just focusing on making more money. They want to create more meaning in the work that they do. They want to share their voice and change the lives of others. And I help them break into the education space in a way that's really authentic to them so that they can do those things. And we also cover the other things I mentioned, like building your program and your offer and defining your marketing and sales strategies. So if you want to find out if that program would be a fit for you, just shoot me a DM here on Facebook. We can have a little back and forth in Messenger, or we can hop on a short call if that works better for you. And if it's a fit, I can usually get people started within about a week. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you soon. Peace.